On ATV News, the Blacksmith Fork Canyon Fire is under control today. Find out what helped crews stay ahead.
Construction all over the city. But why? I'll tell you coming up.
Paying less to drive may sound like a great idea, but we'll show you there's a downside to cheaper miles.
What's the forecast going to be like for the rest of Ag Week? I'll tell you on ATV Weather.
The homecoming football game sold out so quickly a lot of you couldn't get in. But don't worry, we'll relive the carnage and we'll also show you how women's soccer did.
All that and more starting right now. Welcome to ATV News. I'm Jason Borba.
And I'm Brianna Bodley. We have Brandon Fonda live outside with breaking news on a bomb threat here in Logan. Brandon?
That's right, you guys. About 1 o'clock today, the Logan City Police were called about a bomb threat at the South Logan Walmart. After the call was made, officials quickly evacuated the store. Police say somebody called and then demanded money or they would blow up Walmart. And this is just the first bomb threat of many that have been called in today. Already, there have been a couple in Utah County and others in the Salt Lake area. Police are still investigating whether or not this bomb scare is related to the others that are happening throughout the state. Now, when I was there, I saw a bomb squad going into Walmart, but we still aren't sure whether they found anything or not. Back to you, Brianna.
Thanks, Brandon. Utah now joins the rest of the country as similar extortion threats were made in Georgia, Minnesota, Missouri, North Dakota, and Wisconsin.
Cache County fire crews can rest today after gaining control of a fire that broke out in Blacksmith Canyon yesterday afternoon. The fire burned through 80 acres of the canyon, damaging some surrounding trailers and power poles. Fire management officials used fire retardant dropped by helicopters, water hoses, and dirt to control the fire. Officials say the fire may have been started by the lightning storm, but it's the rain that would help them put it out completely.
It could have definitely gone up and over, and it could have been worse, but we were lucky today, and with good firefighters that we have in the valley, we were able to stop it.
Over 100 workers were on scene to help put out this fire, and no one was hurt.
Paying less to drive may sound like a great idea, but we found out there's a dark side to cheaper miles.
I get up to about 27 miles per gallon. I like it because then I don't have to fill up the car as much, and I hate going to the gas station and seeing the numbers run up and my bank account go down.
This year's average gas price sits around $3.60 per gallon, almost $2 more than prices just 10 years ago. County Director Lynn Lemon says although the better mile per gallon is good for pocketbooks, it's hard on the road.
If you're reducing the gallons used but increasing the miles driven, then we have more miles driven, roads are being used, but there's not funding to go along with it.
But when they don't have to fill up as much and they're driving more, states and counties still have to maintain the roads, but at a fraction of the cost, forcing them to find funding somewhere else.
In 2012, we used over $1 million. We took over $1 million out of the reserve account for Class B road funding. And this year, we're scheduled to take another $1 million out, and so we'll be down to like $1.5 million in that account.
Lemon says the counties have been requesting a gas tax increase from the legislature to cover the expenses. But so far nothing has changed, and Lemon says he doesn't have much hope it will.
Again, the legislature has to propose that, and our thinking now, next year's an election year, we don't think the legislature will be willing to do it.
Cache Valley Representative Ed Red says no legislator wants to be the one who increases taxes, and Cache Valley is going to have to come up with a different option.
Representative Red did say one possibility legislators are considering is an increase in tax just within the counties. Lemon says that might be their only option.
Logan's Humane Society is recovering this week after the euthanization of 30 cats last Wednesday. The feline Coelices virus, a highly contagious and fatal disease, spread through cats at the Humane Society. Shelter officials said euthanizing the cats was a tragic but standard step to controlling the disease. The Humane Society says the virus came from a donated cat or one that was impounded by animal control. The shelter is now undergoing a 10-day process of disinfecting the building, and it won't take any new cats or kittens during this period. Don't worry though, your dogs are safe from the virus as it only affects cats.
All cats carry a form of the Queeses virus in their system. It's just whether it's going to manifest itself or not. It usually takes some event for it to manifest itself, but it is one of the viruses that is vaccinated against with your kitten and cat shots.
Symptoms of the virus include fever, sneezing, inflammation of the mouth, and acute arthritis.
Whether you are a returning student or a new resident, you might have noticed the many construction sites around Logan. Cesar Abbott tells us why.
Road construction in Logan has been going on non-stop this summer. This construction on 200 East, for example, has been going on for some time, and even some residents had to be displaced in order to properly continue construction smoothly. I had the chance to speak to Public Works City Engineer Bill Young, who preferred not to be on camera. According to a road environmental study in the mid-1990s, population size in Logan and Cache County met metropolitan density, and in order to address traffic and congestion issues, something had to be done. One of the main reasons for construction going north-south is to alleviate traffic on Main Street, which is a state road, and 200 East was a key street to help achieve this in the near future.
I think the plan has a lot of holes in it that perhaps they didn't think it all the way through. If you make 200 East a main thoroughfare all the way through, it was needed to widen that road. However, right now it just dead ends at 300 South and doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
The reason for them to demolish houses and displace residents was because the original street was 60 feet wide, but they needed a mandatory 88-foot right-of-way, which provided a 3-lane street. Part of the construction here has been to be able to extend 200 East all the way to 300 South. Public Works officials also mentioned that all of this had to be done to achieve a road geometry from a safety standpoint. Cesar Abbott, ATV News.
Construction said to be finished anywhere from the middle to the end of November.
When we come back,
E-cigarettes are becoming more popular, but are they a healthier option?
A younger crowd came to Logan High this Friday. We'll tell you why.
Look at me, hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy.
Welcome back. Are electronic cigarettes a healthier way to smoke? And can they even help you out completely? Our Bradley Wells shows us more about the benefits and the risks of this growing product.
Smoking has been around for a long time. We even know the health risks of smoking a cigarette. E-cigarette companies are attempting to help people get the nicotine, but in a healthier way.
The e-cigarettes are substantially reduced risk. They're nowhere near the risk of the cardiovascular disease, cancer, and the other diseases caused by cigarettes, traditional cigarettes.
Cigarettes are known to have harmful substances such as rat poison, tar, and many other things that are very damaging to the human body.
Risk to someone's health would be substantially less with an e-cigarette.
Better health isn't the only benefit to smoking an e-cigarette instead of a traditional one. Have you ever stepped outside during a football game and missed a big play? With e-cigarettes, it's possible not to have this happen to you.
You gotta go stand outside, you gotta walk away from certain places, you have to stand a certain amount of feet away from certain buildings or places. I swear here, you there's no limitation to where you can go. I mean, because it's not a cigarette, it's an e-cig.
Not only are people able to have the convenience of smoking with an electronic cigarette when they are indoors, but it is helping some people quit smoking, allowing them to have a healthier lifestyle without cigarettes.
For maybe about 4 or 5 months now that I've got myself onto e-cigs, and it's cut my smoking down severely.
Bradley Wells, ATV News.
Even though electronic cigarettes are gaining popularity, people are still getting used to the idea that you can smoke these e-cigarettes indoors.
If you want to eat at LeBeau's, you better hurry because they are closing this Saturday.
Is that everything?
Here at LeBeau's, the staff is serving more people than usual. That's because a lot of the customers know that it's closing soon, and this is the last chance to burgers, fries, and other things on the menu. LeBeau's has been closed for 25 years, and a lot of people might be wondering why they finally decided to close their doors for good.
It's just a lot of things altogether. Mostly, I think we're tired, so time to move on to something else. I think people in Cache Valley are very kind. We haven't had anyone come up and say, good, you're out of here, that type of thing. But most people have been kind and said, hey, we wish you were staying. Are you going to open somewhere else? You know, that type of thing.
Fries, shakes, and more items for over 3 years. They plan to take a break after these final busy days. The customers, young and old, enjoyed their last meals here at LeBeau's Old School Diner.
What do drumming, toilets, and garbages have in common?
If you guessed book release, then you would be right. A new children's book is out, and our Jenna Lynn went to show us how it was released.
It's not every day that you see toilets and desks used as instruments, but that's exactly what happened at Logan High this Friday during Tyler Whiteside's release of his new book, Janitors, The Curse of the Broomstaff. And everything in the show came directly from themes and scenes in the book.
It's cool to see how he uses things out of his book to make it come to life.
The performance tonight was really amazing. I love percussion, and so it was really fun to watch.
Tyler perfected his drumming skills in the marching band at Utah State, while his writing talent came from lifelong family support.
In the beginning, he would negotiate a deal with his mother, and the plan was, I will help you clean the house if you will keyboard in some of the things that I narrate to you.
He would lay on the floor in the basement with his hands behind his head and dictate all manner of conversation between the characters.
And the storyline for this series came from his college job as a janitor.
While most of the custodians were busy cleaning the building, Tyler spent his time thinking to himself, there's got to be a story in this job of cleaning the building.
This is a book about cleaning made by a musician. How do children like it?
It was really cool with a lot of thrills and excitement. Great. I'm really excited. I just have to make sure that I can get it away from my sister first.
Jenna Lynn, ATV News.
Whitesides is in the process of writing 2 more books for this series.
You may have noticed some new buildings or others that are under construction around campus. Well, there could be one more popping up. Professors and staff at the College of Humanities and Social Sciences applauded yesterday as they heard the news. Dean Allen spoke of the college's accomplishments, future goals, and plans of new humanities building. The new structure will be in addition to the Ray B. West building wrapping around the side of the back, similar to the new business building. The dean says they're only on phase 1 of the plans, and the next step is to get President Albrecht's okay and an okay from the legislature.
Sometimes we get spread throughout the system and not identified clearly as a college. And so we're really trying to find a way to say, that's where that college is.
Dean Allen expects the new building to cost around $50 million and hopes that it will be completed in 3 to 5 years.
Eric, it feels like it's finally starting to cool down. What can you tell us about the weather?
Well, I'll have more for you coming up, but we are starting a general cool down around here. But right now, let's look at our current temperature. There's your current temperatures right there on the screen. We will be right back.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today.
Aww, you should pick that up.
Oh, you're such a dork, loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look, your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach
likes
your
you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry.
Maybe he can't hear us.
Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Jason, I am about sick of this hot weather. Eric, please tell me that it's going to get cool soon.
Well, I've got good news for you. It is going to cool down a little bit. I think we're finally starting to get into some fall weather here. Let's take a look at our live shot outside. You can see that we're starting to get some, well, it's a nice looking autumn day out there right now. We are a very, very mild day, partly cloudy. It's definitely getting close to fall. Ah, there we are. Okay, so here's our national map right here. As you can see, we had some rain coming through. Let me move over here. Had some rain coming through. Rain came through last night. We had some thunderstorms and some lightning, but that's all moved on. As you can see, we have this ridge of low pressure right here. It's moving away from us, and we're going to start seeing some drier weather, but some colder weather too. Let's take a look at our national radar here. As you can see, there's still a little bit of moisture in the air over by where we are, but it's nothing we can't deal with. There's across the country, little blips of weather here and there, but in general, nothing too wild. A lot of that storm system from last night looks like it's moved on out here into Montana and into the northern areas there. If we can go ahead and take a look at our Utah radar right now, there we go. As you can see, a little bit of moisture in the air, nothing too bad, nothing like what we saw last night. There was quite the light show, lightning everywhere. It was pretty awesome if you got to take a look at it there. If we could move on to our 7-day there. All right, so as you can see, it's getting pretty mild around here. On today's high is 67. We're going to have a low of 37 here. Thursday, 72, 37, again, very mild. We're going to warm up a little bit come Friday here. We've got going to be about 80 degrees, give or take, 46 for the low. Our nights are really going to start getting chillier. Again, Saturday, going to be pretty warm, low of 48 at night. Sunday, we're going to have a small chance of rain, nothing too bad. 63 degrees, low of 42. Monday, 73 and a low of 47. And on Tuesday here, 76 and 48. And as you can see, we are pretty much on our way into fall here.
I am loving those 70s and 60s.
It's going to be nice. I'm from a warmer area of the country, so a little or a warmer area of the country. So this is cold to me. I know other people are like, 70s, no big deal, but I'm glad to finally break out the sweaters.
It's going to be cold at night. I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Yeah.
Well, I'll enjoy it. Thanks so much, Eric.
No problem.
Thanks, Eric. That was great weather that you just did. When do we come back?
Like the rain, touchdowns were enough to send fans home. Jenna Lynn shows you the big plays from homecoming.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome to ATV Sports. I'm Jenna Lynn. Homecoming week is over, and the USU football team capped off the celebrations with their first home football game of the season. Our Eric Jungblut was on the sidelines to show you how the Aggies skinned the Wildcats.
Aggie fans were nice and loud at Romney Stadium on Saturday. Utah State returned home with a 1-1 record after dominating Air Force, and junior quarterback Chucky Keaton looked ready to lead the Aggies against Weber State. Keaton got USU on the board early in the first quarter with this 5-yard pass to DJ Tialavea, and 4 minutes later, running back Joey DiMartino finds the end zone on an 11-yard run. Try as it might, Weber State's offense could not get anything going against the Aggie D. They didn't record a first down until the end of the first half. Keaton threw for 5 touchdowns in the first half, including this one to linebacker Kyler Fackrell, and another one to Tialavea to end the half with a demanding lead.
It's been all Aggies in the first half. The scoreboard says it all. 49-0 against Weber, absolutely dominating on all phases of the game. We'll see what happens in the second half when the weather might take a turn for the worse.
And that's just what the weather did. It started pouring rain in the second half, but that didn't dampen the Aggie offense. Chucky Keaton comes out and Craig Harrison comes in and gives it to Joey DiMartino, who takes one to the house. DiMartino had 3 touchdowns on the day. Harrison finds Keegan Anderson wide open here, and he takes it all the way. The Aggies dismantle Weber State 70-6, and now the team puts its sights on USC.
I mean, it's going to be a fun trip. We're playing college football. There's nothing better than going into a big college stadium with a whole lot of tradition, and hopefully we can kind of bring them down, and hopefully we can come back with a win.
We've knocked on that door for 4 straight years. We'll see if these kids will be able to open it up, maybe knock it down. We'll see. But they'll be ready to play. They won't flinch. And they've been on big stages before. And so it'll be a fun game.
Eric Jungblut, ATV News.
The Aggies will take on the USC Trojans in the Los Angeles Coliseum at 1:30 on Saturday. And you can watch the game on ABC. The USU women's soccer team has come back down to earth after their hot start of the season. The Aggies hosted number 25 Arkansas on Friday at Chuck and Gloria Bell Field. USU struck first with Mari Miyashiro, finding the back of the net in the 35th minute. The Aggies took the lead into halftime. But 9 minutes after the break, Evan Palmer pushes the ball into the goal to tie the game. USU fights back and retakes the lead in the 55th minute. The Razorbacks keeper punches the ball out, but it goes straight to Taryn Rose, who fires the shot for the goal with 15 minutes to play. Arkansas would equalize. Rachel Riggs puts this shot away for her first goal of the match. Overtime would be needed to decide a winner. And all it took was 41 seconds into overtime to find the victor. Riggs scores for the second time this match, and the golden goal gives the Razorbacks the win over USU 3-2.
Defensively, we definitely let down, and I told them going into the overtime, really, they've got us figured out, obviously. We've got them figured out, obviously. It's going to be whoever wants it more, and they wanted it more today.
On Sunday, the Aggies came away with a draw on the road against Cal State Fullerton. USU's next game will be on Sunday when they host their in-state rival, Weber State. You are now up to date on Aggie sports. Make sure to check in next Wednesday to catch up on all that will be happening this week. Back to you, Jason and Brianna.
Thanks, Jenna. When we come back,
we'll show you how one class reduced, reused, and recycled for fashion.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Aww, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
welcome back. If you think the job outlook is bleak, then you aren't looking high enough. But one USU department says they have a solution. ATV's Lee Kubik shows us the Aviation Technician Maintenance Management Program.
Here at USU, we train students under the FAA's direction and their supervision to become airframe and power plant technicians.
Aviation maintenance majors learn how to break down, inspect, and properly reassemble engines to support a plane 10,000 feet in the air. Most students learn by sitting in a classroom like this. But for aviation maintenance majors, this is their classroom.
The difference between aviation mechanics and some of the other majors is it's a lot more hands-on instead of just sitting in a classroom and taking notes, learning about a lecture. In this major, we really get to get down and dirty with all of the actual mechanics of aviation.
It's a lot of hands-on work. You learn theory, but you also get to work on actual aircraft, which I enjoy.
While some students choose to work for corporate plane industries like Boeing, others feel more comfortable with the small, privately owned general aviation planes.
You can pick the flavor that you like and seek that direction. There is employment in every aspect of aviation right now.
Chesley says that in this career path, the students have the opportunity to see every part of the world. Lee Kubik, ATV News.
According to Calendar, aviation technology is the top 3 major for most rewarding careers.
You've heard about recycled bottles, recycled paper, but what about recycled materials turned into clothes? Monday night, the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences organized a fashion show that required students to turn everyday materials into clothing. There were many different categories for the designs, from music to video games to card games. The cost to get in was a can of food that was donated to the Students' Nutrition Access Center. Even our anchor, Jason Boroba, made an appearance to strut his stuff on the runway. A dress and humanities class puts on the event every semester. Shirley says she is excited to see the students' work come together on stage.
Tonight's event was magnificent. We had lots of creative designs. Students were problem solving and putting things together, unconventional materials, and creating new designs.
Shirley estimates that about 1,000 people were at the show.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News.
Check out all of our shows on YouTube by searching Aggie TV News. Have a good day.